Your Story with Melinda Estabrooks, an exclusive presentation of Faith Strong Today.
Well, welcome to Your Story with Melinda right here on Faith Strong Today. I am so excited because this is my first show, really, my own show on Faith Strong, and I am thrilled that I have my really good friend Kimberley MacLaren here with me as my guest. Kim is singer, mama, you are a storyteller, you write incredible things on Facebook and get like 1,000 and thousands of likes on it. And we've been friends for now, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
5-6 years.
Yeah.
And I love that you're here because I think the theme,
I love being here too.
if you can see the mug, keep calm and marry on, right? That is new news for both of us.
Totally is.
I know. So this show really is going to be about our story, your story, on, I guess maybe the next season, the next chapter of our book, the next season of our journey.
Yeah.
And I feel that your story is so much about God's grace,
Totally.
hope, courage, tenacity. There's a lot about your story. So let's start from the beginning, a little bit of background about you.
Yeah.
And then through, your marriage, that sort of dark night of the soul, and then where you are today, because I think it mirrors where we're both at, which is amazing, right?
I know. And that's one of the things that connected us totally.
Yeah. Well, let's start from the beginning. A little bit background about you and a bit of your story.
I was 8 pounds. No, that's the very beginning.
Yeah.
Totally preacher's kid. Grew up in a great home. Amazing parents still to this day. I just loving, great family, home life. Eventually got married when I was 24. And, because that was just always what I wanted to do, was just be married, be in love, have a family. And I didn't date a whole lot when I was younger, though, because my family, we were also on the road for many years. We would travel and sing, and Dad would preach. And I don't know, I wasn't that person. Gosh, I went to university for 2 years and didn't go on one date. Like, is that
really
stupid? That's
so
stupid.
You didn't
maybe.
Go to, I know.
All of a sudden, people are like, "What is wrong with her?" Red flag.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just me. But then I did eventually meet my husband, and we got married, and it was a rough one. And eventually, almost 12 years later, we were divorced.
So what happens, Kim, and maybe we can kind of talk about this. I mean, for both of us, we got married.
Yeah.
With these hopes and dreams of that this would be something that would be forever,
Totally.
Especially if you're in ministry or you're a Christian.
Yes.
You get that, and not even if you're not a Christian or in ministry, you're that's your hope and dream and desire.
Yes.
So what happens along the way? I mean, maybe you could not get into too much specific, but just the dream breaking or the feeling within the marriage, and how did you cope with it, not cope with it? What was that like?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, especially when you do have your hopes and your dreams, and it just is not ever that. And thinking I can do that, like I can make it that, and you can't. And I'm a Pentecostal preacher's kid. Like, you don't even entertain the thought of leaving something that is actually not a good place to be in. And so for many years, I just chose not to look at that option because I'm like, I cannot do this. And was in counseling for very many years, 6 of those, almost 12 years. And, while I do not actually encourage divorce for anyone, because it sucks.
It just
sucks.
Yeah,
it hurts. It's painful. I have 2 children. It sucks. So when I have friends or people that go, this is happening in my marriage, if there is abuse or even adultery that cannot be, and sometimes people just make their own choices and there's nothing we can do about it. I understand it, but my first thing when someone's like, well, we're struggling, like, really? Then figure out the way to fix it.
Absolutely.
Because we all struggle. We're not going to, the grass isn't greener. It's greener where you water it. so let's water our grass.
Right.
If there's 20% good in your marriage right now, then focus on the 20%. Because I've learned this also. What we focus on is the thing that grows.
Right.
So if we focus on this is bad, this is, he this and he that, which I've done in the past, then eventually that's all you see. Yeah. So
you're dealing with all of this. I think for when I was going through my own difficult marriage, it was really hard because probably a lot of people go through this. You're fronting that everything's okay. You are dying inside as you go home and saying, I'm lonely. Yeah. And, if I was honest, there was, though he chose, my ex-husband, to leave, I have to take responsibility that things weren't perfect in the way that I was handling things, communication, how to deal with conflict. And so I have to, take responsibility of that. Yeah. But, you think back and you go, a marriage can't work on selfishness, self-centeredness, no one willing to sacrifice and compromise. And it is hard work. It's not just like you get married and you're like, okay, now there it is, and it's great.
But we're told that's the way it is.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Every single TV show, every magazine, well, what can he do for you? What can you do for me? How do you love me? How does he love me? And Jesus is not like that at all. It's absolutely countercultural, actually. Like when we serve, loving is serving and giving. And when we do that, listen, after my marriage ended, and even before it ended, I was in deep, dark place, but I had these 2 babies that, you wake up and live for all the time. And after it all ended and sitting so many days going, I don't even know how to survive now. And just in that place, brought to nothing is when you just realize how much we need God. And how much I learned so much about what love is actually after losing everything. And there wasn't a whole lot of actual love in that marriage.
Talk to me about that. That's interesting. So you end up divorcing someone that you obviously loved, and he loved you to marry. But that's an interesting point that you say you realize what real love is when you're actually a single mom with 2 kids on your own.
I learned that's a little shocking. So much more about God, myself, how to be a mom, and what I really think love is, and how I would do a relationship differently if I were ever given the chance again. And
what was the greatest thing you learned about yourself? Let's start with yourself and all of that.
Just how much I needed grace. You know what? I grew up hearing every Bible story, every single, like you can't preach a new sermon, like we've heard them all, except that all of those things that I just would hear became like so real.
It became real.
It was so real.
That is a good point.
So real.
Because a lot of people will hear it and we're like, yeah, we just do like
lip
service and we nod. But when actually you're in the situation, you're like, oh, so that's why that verse is important. Totally. So that's why the truth of God's promise makes sense and uplifts you and gets you out of the pit.
Yeah. Oh. And I could hear those things and encourage other people with it. And that's for them, but I was in that place of
you know what
grace,
what you're bringing up, and I think it sounds weird for me to say this, but I actually believe that everyone needs to go through dark times, not self-imposed or inflicted. And I would never say you need to go through it because somebody's done something. I'm just saying because when you go through a dark time and it's hard, there's a different relationship with you and God.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Like when everything's great, it's like, I don't need God. I'm self-sufficient.
I can do
But when
this.
you actually are in a, dark place, you're just like, the only one I can go to is God.
Mm-hmm. When you realize that is actually all you have left. And honestly, there were nights my children would sleep with me because I had electric heat in my little place, and I would turn it off in the whole entire place except for my room at night. So the kids would sleep with me. I would bring them in to sleep with me so we could stay warm in the winter. Mm-hmm. And in the morning, get up before them and go down to the kitchen, turn on the heat in the kitchen before I woke them up. and every night go, God, I just don't know how to buy groceries this week. Like it brought
So that
me
was saving,
to
you're saving money.
it's
for the
trying to
heat.
save money for the heat, and honestly brought to that place of, I just need you. I've watched you do it for other people, but oh my goodness, I need you. And the great thing, especially that first year, the first 2 really, was I saw him in everything. It was the simplest things, but miracle after miracle, simple miracles. Standing at a 7-Eleven buying orange juice and cheese because my children just wanted grilled cheese for lunch. And we left church and I'm like, I need gas. And they want grilled cheese sandwiches. I have $10 in my bank account, if that. And I remember sitting in the car. I remember it clearly going, do I get gas for the car? Because we can make it home, but then we're not going anywhere else. Or do I go to the 7-Eleven, buy orange juice and cheese? Because they want grilled cheese.
Yeah.
So I went to the 7-Eleven and got cheese and orange juice and stood in line. And this guy was beside me going, I just need to buy these lottery tickets, but the time is running out. Can I just go in front of you? I'm like, totally, sure. I got nowhere to go. And he did. And as he's paying for his $75 worth of lottery tickets, goes, and I'm going to pay for her stuff too.
Wow. That's
and I'm
awesome.
like, oh, no, you don't have to do that. And then also, maybe we could just have some more. No.
Oh, wait a second. Wait. I need chips. I need those beans. I need the Kraft dinner.
Yes.
Oh, wait, shoot.
But the cashier too, her jaw's on the floor. I'm like, oh, sir. He goes, no. I'm paying for hers too. So we had grilled cheese sandwiches and orange juice and gas in the car.
And gas. Here's the thing. For some people, they would say, oh, coincidence. But I chalk it up every time that we don't allow God enough space in our lives for him to show us these miraculous things.
He's in
the little,
every
in the big,
day.
everything, right?
Everything.
So when you are desperate, it's almost this time where it's like, you know what? When you're desperate, great. Because then watch what God will do in the little things, in the big things, and how he'll provide.
The greatest thing about that day was, and this is a long time ago, so my daughter was, 6? We were walking out of that store. She's holding my hand, and she's like, oh, that God, he just keeps taking care of us. I'm like, yeah, that God just keeps taking care of us.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you are 6 years single.
6 years single
mom.
Yeah.
Wow. So in all of that, I mean, that's not easy. Was it easy or was it?
No, it's not easy. You have to make a lot of choices. You get to choose every day to put your foot on the floor and go, I can be mad. I can be mad, actually. I have every right. We all have our rights to feel this way and feel that way. And I can do that. Or I can put my foot on the floor and I can choose to wake up and enjoy this day and lead these kids into a life that just loves Jesus. That we get to choose that. I didn't always choose it well. And sometimes I had to choose it minute after minute going, but we get to do that. So I did that. I mean, I threw us into every volunteer position I could possibly do at our church because I wanted my children surrounded by great people. I'm like, well, this is where it's going to be. So we will be here and we will do everything we can. And that is the next thing I learned, that in giving and in serving.
Perfect.
And
that's the key, because I find
where
that
I was most blessed.
Yeah, I find that especially in these situations, community is key.
Totally.
You cannot do it alone. If you talk to people and they're like, I can't do it, it's like, well, who have you surrounded yourself with? Well, my family has left me. Okay, but what community are you with? Because even during, my separation and divorce, it was really, and I've said this over and over and over, but I can't say enough, is that the community of friends and church people and family were the ones that literally saved me. Rallied, picked me up, figuratively and literally, and saved me through this and cared for me. And that's what it's going to take. So for me, it's great to hear. It's like, it was really hard for you, but you had sort of this base to draw from, and that's really key.
I honestly don't know how we would have gotten through some things without these people in our lives. God has made us for one another. And there have been times where I've just had to totally humbly receive the goodness of people. And I have so much. And God has just brought amazing people into our lives. But also we don't just sit here and wait. We go out and we also serve, because that does something for our own hearts and our soul. We are still living. Life is still here.
And
God is still good.
That is so good.
Like,
because
it's still here.
You could stay in that place of, oh God, why did you do this to me?
Yeah.
I'm going to remain the victim, and I'm going to be really angry, and I'm going to hate life and hate everything about it. And it's like, no, actually, here's your one shot at life.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with
that?
it?
That only produces
good or
lost years.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to lose any. We're living. It might not be the ideal. It might not be what everyone thinks a good life is, but it's a good life for us. We have our little apartment. We have things that we do. We have our fun friends. We have our fun things. And that was our life. And I got to know my kids really well.
That's so encouraging and so
dance
hopeful.
in the kitchen and have lots of chit chats at night. And I wouldn't trade them, even though I've had my meltdowns with God and wondered, why am I alone? And that can be really hard. I used to go to bed at 9:00 when the kids did, so that I would not be online, so that I wouldn't be like, I just wanted to focus on just life and raising some good kids. But also had my moments with God. And I would pray, please protect us. And, and then like, what is wrong with me? Does nobody want to date me? Am I like, monster? And, but I would not trade 1 minute of those 6 years.
Wow. In that time, did you ever think or hope that you would remarry, find love again?
I hoped it. I didn't think it would actually happen. Really.
So you hoped for it, but you really didn't think?
You know what? I hoped for it. Also afraid of it a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, well, if I didn't do it right the first time, like maybe I don't want to do that again. I don't want to repeat the first time.
Yeah. And that is really good, because I have found in some of what I've seen is that, especially going into a second marriage, the issues will repeat themselves if you don't deal with them before. And so so that's why they say, the statistics of getting married a second time are higher for divorce and third time. It's like, well, it's because probably you've jumped into another relationship and you didn't deal with the actual issues that were happening in the first.
We need
that's what
companionship and relationships. Right. So we jump because it's lonely.
Yeah.
There can be 2 kids sleeping in my house and eating all my food, but it's lonely. And I don't want to change the oil in the stinking car, but I did. And like, I don't want to do all these things, but I did. What really helped me too, I read this book early into my single mom years, and I refused at first to read anything on single parenting, divorce. I'm not diseased.
I know, because it's like a label,
here.
Right?
It is a label.
It's the same as like when people say, you're divorced, and you have to check that box.
Like,
I always just go, I think in some of the boxes I'm like, was single. And I just put divorce, because I'm like, really? You're going to label me
I'm going to put a new label that goes awesome. I am awesome,
incredible, passionate. And actually, that's a good idea. On those little boxes, it's like, first of all, it says age, and I should be like 18 to 65. I'll be like, check. And then I'll say, and then what you are. It's like, what is it? It's like married, divorced, widowed, single. It's true. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Wowza. That's so good.
We've just started something.
I'm totally going to start doing those things. That's so great. Yeah. So you didn't want to be labeled. You're like, I don't want to read those books. I'm like, don't label me.
I was working at a bookstore, and I kept walking by this book called My Single Mom Life by a great author called Angela Thomas. And in this book, she talks about her journey, but at the end of this book, and this is what saved me, I think, time after time, she said, ladies, just remember, if you do decide to date again, that boy better show up at your door already happy, because it's not your responsibility. So if they don't already have it figured out with God, and they don't show up at your door happy, red flag, he's out of there. Kick him to the curb.
Wow.
And she also said, also remember, you're not a desperate woman, and don't be stupid twice.
Beautiful. Don't be stupid twice.
Don't be stupid twice. You're not a desperate woman.
That's what you need to hear, right?
Don't be stupid twice.
You need to have that kind of like firmness about it. It's like, don't be stupid twice. You're not like basically a desperate place, right?
You know what? Life is still here.
Right.
And there's so much beauty and things to learn here.
So you're reading this. you have to take care of these two babies, these two kids, right? So you have to focus on all your energy.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily, I mean, of course you're lonely. There are times where you could be like focusing in and saying, I want to have a relationship.
I dragged us to everything. We also were very busy. But it was great because you're always with people and the community and doing things. So we didn't really have a lot of time to actually do anything other than what we were doing.
So you're busy. And it's now 6 years because, like I said before, the theme is keep calm and marry on. And there's a reason for this. And this is a real... but this is like, I know, but this is a real celebration for us.
Yes. But when I always thought, oh, dear God, I'm sure that your word for me is that by the time I'm 40, I'll be remarried. This is what I was thinking in my head. Mm-hmm. And so 40 was quickly approaching and like, there's no knocks on my door. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'm going to be a nun. Like maybe I'm not going to be a nun. Be married ever.
Yeah.
And in lieu of crazy 40 birthday parties, I grabbed my children and I went to Florida to visit a friend. Mm-hmm. And on my 40th birthday, had a massive meltdown with God. Massive meltdown with God. In the bathroom going, oh my goodness. Like on the floor, meltdown with him going, maybe I'm nothing. Like every single thing. Maybe I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. Okay. And
the reality of that going, wow.
And all that week was just thinking about it. And I remember us going home, flying home, and I'm like, okay. So if this is actually how it's going to be, okay, I need to trust you. But you still have purpose for my life. I am not here without a mission. And if that mission is just loving these kids, then that is enough. Mm-hmm. If that mission is singing at my church, that is enough. It's enough. So you have to be enough also. And he is.
So
and
you
that
resolved.
is also proven.
So you then resolved, all right, I'm okay with that. I think that's really key for people who are listening and viewing, because I really think that's important because we are always unfulfilled, unsettled, and discontent in our situation. And there comes a point where even in scriptures, it's like there is a strong call for us to be content where we are. But we're always like, I want more, I need more. And yes, we want companionship.
And the thing is, we have the more with us all the time. We have the more with us all the time.
Listen, we only have a few more minutes because I want to hear about the love story.
There's a love story.
Yeah, so you have resolved this, and now we need to fast forward to the love story because
it's crazy.
Okay, so 6 year single mom, you have your meltdown, and now what happens? Talk to me about your fiance and how this happened.
Oh my word, I love him so much.
Okay, so tell me how this. Yeah, tell me how this. What?
It's so silly. Less than a year ago, a girlfriend of mine was like, hey, we should go on a road trip. I'm like, yeah, we should. Blah, blah, blah. Where should we go? We should go to Nashville. I used to go to Nashville all the time because I used to work for a company. We did. And in our conversation, my girlfriend was like, and she brought up our friend Brian and how he was single now. And I met him in 2008. Just one of the greatest guys. I remember we were at a dinner and we just talked the whole night. And I remember walking away going, that is one of the great men in the world. But we both have different lives. We're both like, but when you just meet great people, go, that is a great guy right there. But that was 2008. And last year when my girlfriend was telling me that he's single, I'm like, no, he's not. She's like, yes, he is. I'm like, I have not seen evidence on Facebook that this person is single.
Because it's always Facebook. That's reality.
Like, what are you talking about? She's like, for a little while now. I'm like, I don't know this. Are you certain?
Yeah.
Like we argued for 10 minutes about it. And she's like, no, I promise you. Like things, I'm like, I just didn't know. And so we did go to Nashville. And God bless my girlfriend. And
you guys meet?
You know what? He actually picked us up from the airport, and that was it. I'm telling you, that was
wow.
it. And we have been
together
ever since, and we are getting married. I know.
Woo! So you're getting married. So here's the thing. So all of this journey with you. So here you are. You get married. You divorce. 6 years as a single mom with 2 kids.
Yep.
and then he picks you up at the airport, and that's it. Yeah. What does that say? Yeah. Just to think about God. I mean, you can talk all about Brian, and he's amazing. And Brian, you are amazing. Yes. I really like you. Yes. Take care of my girl.
Yeah.
But what does it say about God? In our last few minutes, what does that say about God to you in your story?
In the first little while, I would be like, I can't believe I'm dating this man. Like he is like the greatest guy. And he loves me. I'm going to cry. And he loves me. And I understand how God loves us because I have children and I love them. But this man loves me like in a way I've never known, ever. And it is overwhelming. There are times it is actually literally overwhelming and it almost takes my breath away. And it has just reminded me over and over, God loves me. That is a huge one. You would think, oh, you've heard it your whole life. You know that God loves you. I've heard it my whole life, but there's something about transferring it from here to here in your heart and going, he loves me. Brian is this amazing gift, like the gift, gift from God that and I'll be 42 in a couple of weeks.
You look fabulous for 42.
And I just go, I can't believe that God has just so quickly already just redeemed anything lost, and that we get to now fulfill our purpose together as a team and all these kids and just choose love.
Yeah. Let me affirm you as my friend. I think in the affirmation of what you're saying is that your faithfulness to the one who knows you, sees you, and created you, your faithfulness even in the time of the dark night of the soul, the desert of being a single mom, I believe Brian is God's gift to you. Yes. It's like, Kim, thank you for loving me and trusting me and being faithful in the highs and the lows. And I believe God is that father that gives good gifts to his kids.
Yes.
That's the kind of character of God that he has and he holds. And so I just want to affirm you because I'm going to miss you when you go to Nashville.
We're moving to Nashville.
But I think that you are a gift to Brian just as much as Brian is a gift to you.
I love him so much.
And I think what a beautiful picture of the love of God, the character of God, and this sense of that every story, every single listener, viewer, reader should know that God is a God of redemption, grace, and hope.
Hope. Absolutely.
Amen to that, sister.
Amen to that.
All right.
Your Story with Melinda Estabrooks. Listen for new episodes every Monday and subscribe to the podcast at faithstrongtoday.com.